Alright, hi guys, welcome back to another video. Well, in this video, I am in school right now. As you can see, I'm in an empty class. I'm hella early in school. So I want to use the time and opportunity to actually explain my strategy, bro. Like the strategy I use, bro, this has to be the most easiest strategy I have ever used. And yeah, so before we start, I just want to address something, okay? I know most of you might be watching my videos and be like, how come you are always on a demo account? You're on a demo this or a demo that. You said your strategy is good, but you're still trading fake money. All right, so this is what happened, okay? It's some personal stuff, okay? Last week, I said last week, last year, December, the ending of December, I actually had some issues with my account. They ended up making me losing all of my money, okay? So I ended up losing all of my money, all of my live funds on my live account last year, the December of last year. That was literally last year. Because if you notice, if you go to my YouTube, most of my thumbnails were in white, like in a white background, okay? But the ones with the darker background, that was the last video with the darker background was the last live trade I ended up taking on my account. And after that day, yo, all my money was gone. And some personal issues I don't want to really say it about. I don't want to say everything that happened, but I had some issues with my account. They ended up making me lose all my money. Okay, it is not anything about the strategy, you feel me? But I just want to skip past that past level and then just focus on what we're doing right now. That's why yesterday or the day before yesterday, when I posted a video, I said that right now I haven't started a live account yet because I'm on a demo account. So I have to raise up funds for me to actually start a live account. Okay, so that's what I'm currently dealing with. I'm trying to raise up funds for a live account. I don't know where I'm going to start a live account yet, but for now, I'm going to be trading demo until I have the funds to trade a live account. Okay, so let's get straight into the video. All right, so like I said, I want to show you the most easiest strategy I have ever used. Yeah, and you only need two pairs, NASDAQ and US 30. You guys have been seeing the demo trades. You see how they've been going. If I stick to my rules, okay. So let's just break down the shit, okay. If you're in Nigeria or you're in West Africa, the time you're going to be trading right now is 3:30 p.m. That is West African time, okay? If you're in New York or you're in the Eastern Standard or you're using Eastern Standard Time, you are going to be trading at 9:30 a.m. That is Eastern Standard Time. If you're in places like California, Vancouver, Nevada, you are using Pacific Standard Time. So you're going to be trading right now by 6:30 a.m. That's Pacific Standard Time. So to make this easier for you, all you have to do is go right here to your trading view. There is this bottom right, click on it, and then you're going to see New York time. So you're going to click on New York, and that is the time zone you're going to be trading with. So just click on New York, and then you're good. So just know, like I said, New York time, we're going to be using 9:30 a.m. So whenever you see 9:30 a.m., that is the time you're going to enter your trades. So basically, what happens at this time is that this are times, or this is the time when the market opens. This is the time when the banks open. So we expect to see huge volume in the market. That is when buyers and sellers are entering the market the most. So at this time, we want to capitalize off of the moves. We want to see where exactly the buyers are and where exactly the sellers are. What is price doing at that point? Does price want to buy? Does price want to sell? Right? That's all we need to know. And that is when we're going to see the volume. All right, so sorry about the audio. I know I'm in an empty class, there's a lot of echoing. So I'm sorry about that. I didn't bring my mic along. So we just have to deal with that, okay? So we have to trade at 9:30 a.m. That is when the market opens, okay? Because we're going to see huge volumes in the market, and I'm going to explain that right, anytime soon. So what we're doing is we basically are looking for areas in the market where there are people buying and where there are people selling. So for example, let's say I draw this out. Let's say I'm drawing this out right here, right here. I know this might look like a messed up chart, okay? But if you notice right here, I can see there's a level where people sold off of. When people sold off, it's like a level where we saw a lot of selling reaction. Selling means price is dropping. Buying means price is going up. So I am drawing a rough chart for you guys, just for you guys to know how okay the strategy is. Okay, I just want to make you guys know that okay, everything cannot be perfect because actually most traders they just make a very straight um um trading chart or something like that. But I'm trying to do a rough chart so you guys can understand that every time the market might not be as smooth as it is. Okay, so here I see there's a lot of people selling right here. Now this is, let's say this time is around 9:25 a.m. 9:25 a.m. and we're only going to use a 5 minute time frame. Okay, 5 minute time frame. So I am going to draw out my levels. I know that yeah, we have people selling here because we saw this huge reaction to the downside. So I know there are people who sold at this price. I know that there are people who are buying at this price. Because notice here, at this point, I can even use a box because I'm seeing that people buying at this level. You can see we have people buying here. Price came again, bought at this price. Price came back into the same price came back into the same level, and then the buyers bought again. So there are a lot of people buying at this level. And right now, this is 9:25 a.m., 5 minutes before market opens, which is at 9:30 a.m. So what I am going to wait for, since I have drawn my levels, I want to wait for a break of either this level or this level. Why? Because if price comes to this level at night, let's say market opens right here. Let's say market opens right here. Market is opening right there. Okay. Let's change this color to black or gray. So let's say market is opening right here. At market open, I want to see if price is going to push above this level or is going to push below this level. If price comes into this level, I am not going to take any trade. Why? Because we have not broken past this level. Why am I looking for breaks? When we take a break to this upside, what is that telling us? That is telling me that since there are people selling at this level, because there are actually people who sold at this level, which you can see here, there are people selling at this level. For us to break above this level, that means there are more buyers than sellers. There are more buyers than there are more people selling. Because if this was actually a good level, I am also supposed to see price tap into this level and then start pushing back down. Why? Because there are people selling at this level. But if price breaks above this level, that is telling me that the sellers are no longer in control and the buyers are now in control. That's basically it because price is getting to a point where the sellers are no longer interested in selling in. So the buyers come into the market and that is what pushes price up. Now, for example, price taps into this level and then respects it. Respecting it meaning price actually sells. Why? Because there were people selling. So what I'm going to do is, since price is respecting this level, I'm going to see if we can break below this level. I am basically just waiting for breaks between either the upside or the downside. Now price comes into this level and then breaks below this level. What is this telling me? Remember, there were people buying here, there were people buying here, there were people buying here. What happened when we broke below this level initially? We pushed to the downside. Why? Because there are people who sold at this level because price got to a specific point where the buyers were no longer interested in buying. So price sold. Same thing here. Price came back up, tapped into this level again, like what happened before, and then pushed up to the upside. Now price comes back here. We are supposed to bounce off of this level, but like I said, it is market open. So I'm trying to see what price wants to do. I'm not trying to say okay, price will do this, price will do this, price will do this. I want to see or know what price wants to do. So price comes here and then breaks below this level. Remember, we broke below this level and then we sold. If we break below this level, I also want to sell. So I am going to take a sell trade right there. I'm going to take my sell trade right there and then look for a 20 to 30 point trade. and then that's basically price just goes to my TP instantly. So that is what I used to trade. That's how I trade, bro. Like that's literally how I trade. Most times you're hardly spending more than 5 minutes in a trade. I think my fastest trade is less than 30 seconds, bro. My fastest trade is more than 30 seconds. Yesterday was one of my fastest trades, bro. So yeah, that's basically it. So I've showed you guys a buy example and I've showed you guys a sell example. The market might not be this rough all the time. Most times I don't really draw all the levels, okay? So for example, let's go over the past few trades I've been taking. Let's start with last week Friday. Actually, let's see if we can start with last week Friday, okay? Or let's say last week Monday. Yeah, so another thing I need to tell you guys is, let's say for example, because this is how you actually need to understand trading, okay? Let's say we're trading US 30. No, you can trade Nasdaq or US 30. Some people might say, oh, they want to trade the pair that looks cleaner. But yo, you have to work with that statistics, okay? Why? Because look, at first I was trading Nasdaq last week Monday, the beginning of last week Monday, I was trading Nasdaq. That was 20, that was 5th, sorry. That was 5th of January. You can see there are no trades, right? Because I haven't been trading Nasdaq, okay? So the 5th of January is right here. All right, so if you notice, I was trading Nasdaq, and this was because I just felt more okay trading Nasdaq. Look right here, we ended up getting a fake out, but then we ended up winning, right? So that is the trade. So why did I take this trade? Okay, notice here, there are not really any good levels that I might say I want to draw out, except here. You can notice here, we have people. I don't like going this far because I don't want to actually confuse you guys. So let's just stick to this level. Let's just stick to this level, okay? So if you notice, we have people who sold off this level and then bought up off this level. So I know that there are people who sold below this level. So I'm going to draw a line here, like a line here, and then this is 925. This is the last candle. You can see price already breaking above this level. But now I want to see if price really wants to keep breaking above this level or below this level. If price goes below this level, I know we want to sell. If price goes above this level, I know we still want to buy. So we ended up getting faked out at this point here. But then when price started pushing to the downside, I ended up taking a sell trade. Why? Because when price breaks below this level, we sell. But when price breaks above this level, we might continue the buying because I didn't just want to take a trade by 925. Okay, that's basically I didn't want to take a trade by 925 because the market has not opened yet. All right, so that was on Monday. And now what do you notice? Look at Monday's trade right here. This is Monday. This is the 5th of January. Let's see what the 5th of January did on US 30. Notice what happened right here. Do you see what happened right here? At 9:30 open, you can see right here, this is 9:30. You can see the huge candle that pushed right here. So I am now seeing that US 30 is moving way smoother than Nasdaq. Nasdaq, we had a fake out, then we had a trade to the downside. But on US 30, all we did was a straight push to the upside. Why? Because if you notice here, we had people selling here. We also had people selling here. So I'm looking at this level like, okay, people are selling at this level. If we break above this level, that means they are no longer sellers in this market. They are now buyers that are in control. Because that was exactly what happened here. If you notice, at this level here, we have people selling at this level, people also selling. Price was refusing to go above this level. But what happened when we went above this level? We started buying. That's basically how this breakout strategy works. But you are only going to trade at 9:30 open. When the market open is when you're going to trade. And you can see here 9:30, we had this huge candle right here. Nasdaq too, same thing. At 9:30, we had this huge candle right here. So now I'm seeing that US 30 is moving way better than Nasdaq. So I'm still going to relax and still see if Nasdaq wants to keep going well or US 30 does better. Now I'm going to go into Tuesday and then see what price is doing. Now this is the 6th of January and I'm going to take this trade. So 9:30, what do we see here? You can see at 9:30, before 9:30, I am drawing out my levels, okay? So I'm drawing out my most recent level. And I'm seeing right here that we have people selling at this level, we have people selling at this level. When we broke above, we bought. When we went below this level, we sold. So that's all. That's all I need to know. When we go above a level, we buy. When we go below a level, we sell. Same thing here. I think if I use a box, it's going to be easier for you guys. Okay. All right. So let's do it this way. So I am seeing that we have people selling here. Price came back into this level and sold. Simple. I know if price goes above this level, we're going to buy. I know if price goes below this level, we are going to sell. That's all I need to know. And remember, I'm only doing this before 9:30. When 9:30 hits, as soon as the time is 9:30, that is when the market is going to move crazy. Okay. So at 9:30, I am looking at this trade and I'm like, all right, price breaks above this level. We buy up for a minute and then we come back down. Price tossed me out on the first trade. Remember, I'm only taking 2 trades per session, 2 trades per day. If I'm trading New York session, I'm trading 2 trades per day, only 2 trades because of risk management. Now, the second time, price starts to push up again. I take the buy trade and I get stopped out. So I'm like, okay, I already gotten stopped out twice on NASDAQ. I'm noticing that NASDAQ isn't doing well. So I am going to check on US 30 and see what price is doing. This was Monday's trade. Now let's check what happened on US 30 on Tuesday. This is what happened. You can see that price went so clean to the upside. We also had people selling at this level, people also selling at this level. Notice here, if we extend this line, or let me just use the box. I like to use the line because it's cleaner, but for you guys can use the box level. So you can see here, oh my god, this is so clean, bro. So you can see here, people bought off of this level, price came back down, bought again because price pushed to the upside. What happened when price broke below this level? We had this huge sell-off. Price came back into this level. Remember that we had this huge sell-off. Price also did the sell. Price also dropped. Now at market open, which is at what time? 9:30 a.m. New York time. I am waiting to see what price wants to do because there's volume in this market. I want to see where market wants to actually push. Remember, this is Tuesday on US 30. Nasdaq on Tuesday we did rubbish. Okay, but US 30 on Tuesday, you can see market opened. We ended up breaking above this level. If we had taken this trade, we would have caught a huge trade because price moved so clean. We broke above and then price moved so that like in one direction to the upside, kept on pushing to the upside as you can see right there. So I am seeing that US 30 is moving way better than Nasdaq this week because the first 2 days, they haven't been really been moving well, but on US 30, we have been moving so well, one direction, one direction. But on Nasdaq, on Monday we had this fake out, then a trade to the downside, and then another trade to the upside. On Nasdaq down Tuesday, we saw this huge push to the upside. We came back down, got stopped out, pushed again, got stopped out. But on US 30, we're only having huge wins, huge pushes. So with that, I'm like, okay, US 30 is moving way better than Nasdaq the first 2 days of the week. What does that tell me? That tells me that I have to trade US 30 for the rest of this week because US 30 seems like it's moving way better than Nasdaq for this week. So I'm going to keep on trading US 30 till this week runs out. And that was the plan. That was how I trade. Okay. Because it's not just about which pair has the better setup, it's about which pair has been doing good. And I've noticed here that US 30 has been doing good. So that's why I ended up trading on Wednesday, trading US 30. That's all I did. So now I'm seeing here, I actually took a loss on the first trade on US 30, but remember with risk management, I can cover up for everything. I ended up catching the 1 to 3.5. 1 to 3.5 basically means if you're risking $1, you're going to make $3.5. 1 to 2 risk reward means if you're risking $20, you're going to make $40. That's basically all it means. So 1 to 5 meaning if I'm risking, $2, I'm going to make $10. It's about risk to reward, okay? So here, you guys have noticed, seen it already. We have people selling at this level. Price came back here, we sold. Market open, before market open actually, we ended up pushing above this level a little bit. As you can see, this is the 925 candle, this green candle. We ended up breaking above this candle, this level right here. So I'm like, all right, let me wait and see what Nasdaq US 30 does at 9:30. At 9:30 a.m., we ended up still pushing all this. We ended up pushing all this way to the upside, but ended up getting faked out. I would have closed up on partial profit, but I wanted to see if we could hold for a 123 or 123.5, but we ended up getting faked out. But it's fine. This time around, all I want to see price do is break below this level. Why? Because all you have to do is train your eyes and see what the most. Because if I delete this, I know you guys might not be able to see it. At this point, you guys might not be able to see it. But notice that you just have to know where people are buying and where people are selling. Just look at the recent highs. You can see there's a high here. What happened? Why did we push down? Because we have people selling at this level. Now I'm looking again, I'm like, why did we push above this level? Why did we come back down and then reject above this level? Because remember, we broke past this level and then price came back into this level. Simple. Now I'm looking again, I'm now going to drag it and I'm going to be like, yeah. So we're actually having a lot of people rejecting off of this level. And notice what happens right here. We come back into this level, we break. When we go above this level, we buy. So it's basically you just drawing out your levels. That's all. You have to just draw out your levels, and then that's all I did. So now I know if price starts breaking below this level, I am going to take a sell trade, and that was all I did. Took the sell trade, and as you can see here, we had this huge drop because this is market open, bro. That's why I said 9:30. Anything after 9:30 a.m. By the way, you should trade by 9:30 a.m. But anything after, we're going to see huge moves, and as you can see here, huge moves in the market. Based on 9:30, after 9:30, New York open, we can see huge moves in the market. Look at huge moves in the market. So I've been seeing that US 30 is doing good, better than Nasdaq. But on this day, we actually had a good Nasdaq actually moved well, by the way, this day. But US 30 still did way better. Okay. So I'm still going to trade US 30 because US 30 is still moving good. So on Thursday, look, I'm literally trying to be so transparent, bro, because I've watched so many traders. They will just show you the best trades they've taken. I am going to show you my losses, and I'm still going to tell you why those trades lost. I'm not trying to pick out the best trade. I'm literally going to show you day after day from the whole week of last week. I'm still going to show you this week if there is time, but we're just going to keep continuing the video, okay? This was Thursday. By the way, all this trade is being taken like screen recorded, so you can literally check all my videos in the past. You see all this trade live them taken, okay, live but demo traded, okay. So this was Thursday. I ended up still trading US 30. Why? Because I said US 30 is moving better than Nasdaq this week. So I said I'm going to trade US 30, okay. So I'm looking at this, right? What do we notice? At 9:25, where it started breaking below this level, you can see that it's so clear, but we have a level right here. You can see people buying off of this level. Price came back here, price bought again, price came back here, price. So we're seeing a lot of rejections at this level. So I'm like, oh, it seems that there are people buying at this level. But at 9:25, we do not trade before 9:30. So at 9:25, I just want to see what market wants to do. So 9:25 ended up still breaking below this level. Remember, do not give in to trade at 9:25. Market hasn't opened. Okay. So price breaks out. We can still see price breaking out to the downside, but it's fine. 9:30 hasn't opened. So this was the last area when the 9:25 candle reached. So I'm going to mark it out right there. And then this is where the most interesting part is. Okay, so I'm going to draw out something. Okay, the same exact stuff that happened, just for you guys to understand this way better. Look, if we have people buying off of this level, we have people buying off of this level. Price came back here and we bought again. Price came back here to the same level and then we bought again. But all of a sudden, before 9:30, we dropped to this level, right? Before 9:30. So we know that we have a lot of people buying at this level. And we have people also selling at this level because people sold right here. People sold, that's why price dropped, because price went below a level where where buyers were no longer interested in buying. That's why we saw people selling at this level. So let's say the market opened right here. Let's say the market is opening right now. At 9:30, we see price doing this. Price gets into this level, we do not want to enter a trade. I want to see price go above this level. When price goes above this level, then we can enter a buy trade. The reason why I'm entering a buy trade is because we have people buying above this level. So we are already breaking above this level, and what is happening above this level? We have people that are buying. People are buying. You can see people bought up off of this level. So I am going to take my trade right here. I'm going to take a buy position right here. That's basically it. I'm going to take a buy position because I know there are people buying at this level. That was exactly what I did. People are buying here, people are buying here, people are buying here. 925, we had a fake out. Why is it a fake out? Because when we broke below this level, we are supposed to keep on pushing to the downside. But price instantly goes back up at 930. This is telling me that there are people buying here. This is just a fake out. Because if you cannot be patient and you took this trade by 925, you will get lost, you will lose the trade. Because at 930, we can literally see a reversal. That's basically it. So at 930, you can see price. I put in my level here because I entered right here because I ended up entering a little bit late, but it's still fine. Price broke above this level, ended up taking my buy trade, top loss for a 30 point, and then take profit for 60 point. That is basically a 1 to 2 weeks reward. That means if you're risking $30, you're going to make $60. If you're risking $300, you're going to make $600. If you're risking $1,000, you're going to make $2,000. That's basically the trade, bro. And you can see in literally like less than a minute, price already hit my TP, bro. This trade is literally like I literally took this trade on the demo account, but I recorded everything I did, all my insight, everything I believed will happen, and it happened. All you have to do is just wait for market to open, and then let's see what price does. So that's basically it. That's basically it. Now I didn't trade on Thursday. I didn't trade on Thursday, but I mapped out what could have happened on Nasdaq, and this is exactly what would have happened on Nasdaq. You draw out a level because it's so clear. By the way, I'm using a box for you guys, just for you guys to see exactly what I'm seeing. So before market opens, all you have to do is mark out your levels. So now you know if price goes above this level, you can buy. That's you marking out your levels. And then you know if price goes below this level, you can sell because this is 925. The market hasn't opened yet. So all you have to do is mark out your level where you're going to buy, mark out your level where you're going to sell. That's all. And now look here. Price opens at 930. You can see this huge move. That is why we trade at 930 because that's when the volume comes in. That's when we see huge moves coming in. So 930, we see price dropping. Take a sell trade. If you traded Nasdaq, take a sell trade. 25 point stop loss, 50 point take profit, 1 to 2. You're out of the trade. I know I'm saying this shit like, yo, it's easy, it's this, but yo, sometimes it's actually it's not that easy though. Sometimes it's not that easy. Sometimes you might want to take more trades, but you just have to be disciplined with yourself, no matter what type of account you're using. Using a prop firm, using a paper account, using a live account, you always have to, stick to your rules, or else, you're going to blow your account. Now, this was Friday. Friday was such a fantastic day. Same thing happened here. I know it looks kind of messy, but it can be simple. It can be simplified, okay? So let me draw out this let me use my line tool to draw out this setup right here. So right here, let's start from right here. So I'm seeing price go up, which happened here. I'm seeing price go down, which happened here. I'm seeing price go up again, which happened here. I'm seeing price go down, which happened here. Price came up again. Right now we're not seeing that much candles. I'm just trying to go off what I'm seeing. So I see a green candle here. That's what I'm going to draw out. I see price come down. That's what I'm going to draw out. So this right here is 9:25 a.m. That is all I can see. Market has not opened. That is all I can see. I don't know what happened. I don't know what the market will do. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm drawing out my level here. I'm seeing that we have price bouncing off of this level, going up, breaking below this level, and then retesting back into this level and then pushing back down. That's all I can see here. We have price going up. Price broke below this level, as you can see here. We dropped. Price came back into that level and then we dropped again. So at market open, all I need to do is, what does market want to keep doing? Does market want to break below this level? Because we actually do have a level here. So does market want to break below this level? Because that's the only time I'm going to enter a sell trade. Does market want to break below this level, or does market want to break above this level? If market breaks above this level, what are we going to do? You guys should not get this complicated. If price breaks above this level, I want to buy, because there were people that also bought at this level. There were also people who bought above this level. So let's say market opens and market does this. Market opens and then we do this. We do not want to enter a buy trade. Why? Because the market hasn't gone above our level. If the market is still below our level, we do not want to enter a trade until we see a break. If price breaks above, then we can enter a buy. Why are we taking our buy trade? Because there are people who bought above this level. Yo, that's all you need to know. So price breaks above this level, I am going to enter my buy trade, go for a 25-point stop loss, go for a 30-point stop loss, and then go for a 90-point take profit. That is basically a 1 to 3 risk reward. And as you can see, in literally less than 5 minutes, price has already hit TP. So yeah, that's basically the trade, bro. That's all the trade, bro. I'm giving you guys all these examples because this year I'm not gonna ask for money from anybody, bro, at all, because this is something that I just want you guys to know. It's not something difficult. You guys be checking some gurus and then you're seeing some I can't even explain, bro. Like paying money to some people that are not even teaching you the right stuff. But anyways, I'm just showing you the strategy I use. I'm not saying you must use it. I'm not saying it works. I'm not saying it doesn't work. But you guys are seeing this, right? You guys are literally seeing this, okay? Same thing here. Same thing here. If I remove this, don't make it confusing. Let's say you cannot see this candle, this red candle. So you cannot see this candle because market has not opened yet. Remember, you have to be on your laptop, your PC, your phone before 9:30 a.m. You are there by 9:20 or 9:25. You can do your setup in less than 5 minutes and then you're good. So let's say you cannot see this candle right here. So let me do it this way. I don't have the replay button. I have not done any subscription to TradingView. So fine, this is how it's going to look like. You cannot see the market. Market has not opened yet. So you are going to mark out your levels. All you can see here is price rejected here, price rejected here, price also rejected here. But all of a sudden decided going to the upside. That's all we need to know. Now I'm going to draw my levels here. I'm going to see that okay, price respected this, price started dropping below this level, but let me extend it and see what happens. And now I am extending it and I'm seeing that price broke above this level, came back into this level and then broke back. So I know that now we have people buying above this level. Price came back here and bought also above this level. So that's all I need to know. That's all I need to know. So I'm going to draw my level here and I'm like, okay, if price goes below this level, what is going to happen? We are going to sell. Why? Because we have people selling below this level. Yo, man. And then I am going to buy if price starts going above this level. Because if you know this, you can just extend your lines. That's all. Because you also see people are buying here, people are buying here, people are buying here. When price broke below this level, what happened? We sold. Price sold. Buyers were no longer interested in buying, and then we sold off. Yo, 925, we came back into this level, and then we sold again. That's basically all we need to know, bro. Good. Right, so yeah, forget about that. Like I said, I'm in school, so just a little distraction, but we're back. So that's it. So now I'm joining at this level, and I'm like, if price goes above this level, I am going to buy because we have people buying above this level. Yo, that's it, though. That's basically it. I just want you guys to understand this. Like, don't overcomplicate things, bro. Please. So we break below this level, and then what's going to happen? I'm going to sell. I'm going to enter a sell trade, which was what happened. That's literally the setup I used, right? So when price goes below that level, I am going to enter a sell trade because I see a lot of people selling at this level, selling at this level. When price goes below this level, I'm going to sell. And that's all I did. Took a sell trade, went for a 30-point stop loss, and then went for a 90-point take profit. If you guys are asking how do you know what a point is, just look at this next number close to this stop. Right now, this is 127-point stop loss. You can adjust it like this, and you can see the numbers increase when you bring it lower and decrease when you bring it higher. This is for a buy example. When you're selling, it reduces when you're going lower and increases when you're going higher. Same thing that is take profit. Anything close to the next number close to the target is increasing when you go up and reducing when you go down. But when you're in a sell trade, it increases when you're going down, but reduces when you're going up. So when I say 30-point stop loss, 64-point stop loss is basically you adjusting your stop loss level. That's all. That's all, man. So yeah. Now that was all the trade for Friday. That was Monday. Sorry, Nasdaq here on Monday. I didn't take a trade, because I wasn't trading Nasdaq. But now let's say we are trading Nasdaq. Well, I'm still going to trade US 30 because I feel like US 30 is still moving way better than Nasdaq. Which right here I can see US 30 is still moving way better than Nasdaq, right? Well, here Nasdaq actually did do well on Monday. So what I'm going to do is before 9:30, because it's so obvious, we already know where market opened. Market opened right here because all these candles were not as big as this candle. This is showing you that market has opened. That's why we're seeing this huge push. And the aim of this strategy is to catch these types of moves. That's all. So I'm going to use a box and I'm going to mark up the recent levels of buyers or sellers. So I am marking out this level here. I am seeing that we had people selling here. We were not breaking above this level. That's all I can see here. We are not breaking above this level. And then for a sell trade, to be honest, I wouldn't even know. Okay, okay. So we have a sell trade here, but we already have 925 breaking below. So we're just going to extend it a little bit to the downside right here and then wait for price to do its thing. That's all. That's all. There are a lot of levels. There are a lot of levels you can go off of. You have this level here. You have this level here. You have this level here. You can see people bought off of this level. When price broke below this level, we sold. Price came back here, sold. When price breaks above, we buy. So you can go off of either one of these levels. You can either go off of this level or go off of this level. That's for a sell trade. But for a buy trade, it's so easy. All you need to know is if price breaks above this level. And here you can see price breaks above this level, and then you can catch this trade. All you have to do is enter your buy trade here and go for a 25-point stop loss, 30-point stop loss, and that's it. That's it, bro. That's it. That's it. You catch that huge 75-point trade. That's it, bro. That's it. So Tuesday, look, same thing, bro. Same thing happened on Tuesday. Well, on Tuesday, I ended up catching a little bit losses because I went aggressive. When I mean aggressive, it's like taking trades before the original level. So this was my level initially. This was my level initially. I was just trying to go aggressive right here. So price broke below, took a sell trade, we had a reaction. So, I ended up getting like 2 losses right there. But I was able to cover up for all the losses because of the third trade. Well, I ended up taking 3 trades, right? But we're only going to stick with 2 trades, okay? So we're going to stick with 2 trades from now on. Only 2 trades, sticky with that from now on. So all I did was wait for price to break below a specific level, which was right here, because I saw price having this huge reaction off of this level. Also at 9:30, we had this huge reaction. So I'm just like, okay, at 9, that means because already at market open, price already moving well. So I'm like, okay, I'll just wait for the next candle and see what happens. But the next candle comes in and we start breaking below this level. Obviously, I know that we want to start selling. So I took my sell trade right there, went for a 35-point stop loss, and then went for a 105 take profit. That's what I did right there. And then the trade got hit. If you want to go less aggressive or more less aggressive, you could have taken your trade right here. Just wait for price to go below this level and then take your sell trade. That's all. Yeah. Then Wednesday, I actually ended up losing all three trades, and that was because price wasn't just moving well. Let me just keep it like that. Price wasn't moving well. There are some days you will win, some days you will lose. Okay. Wednesday, price wasn't doing well. On Nasdaq, Nasdaq, let me see what Nasdaq did on Wednesday. Nasdaq too wasn't doing well. You can see here, we broke below this level. We broke below this level right here. Price broke, but then we ended up selling, buying back up. So basically, this day wasn't really the best when it comes to Nasdaq and US 30. That was on Wednesday. But on Thursday, this was literally yesterday's trade. You can see there we had our level, If price breaks, we sell. If price goes up, we buy. And yo, bro, that's basically the trade, man. So price broke above this level, and then we ended up buying, hitting all three, take profit. And that was it, bro. That was basically it, bro. Like, that was it, bro. If you check NASDAQ, that's why I kept trading US 30 because I thought US 30 was still moving way better than NASDAQ, which it still is doing. So 9:30, you can see here we had a lot of choppy, price action here. So I can't even, explain that trash. But on US 30, you can see we had a huge push. I actually ended up entering late. Would have entered right here, but ended up entering late. But you can see we still caught the one to three risk reward. Well, that's basically the trade, man. That's basically it, bro. That's all I can say for now. If you guys don't understand this strategy, man, you guys can just, just be trading what you're trading, or I don't know. Because I've literally explained all the trades I've taken from last week, Monday, till now. And yeah, it's not that difficult to understand, though. By the way, if you guys want to trade, enter the same trade I am taking, join the Discord. The Discord is in the description, bro. It's free, completely free. I don't charge a kobo for anything, bro. I don't charge a cent, a dollar for anything, bro. It's for free. If you guys want to join the community and just talk with other traders, the Discord link is in the description below, and everything is for free. The Telegram is also in the description below for free. If you guys just want to have a good, chilling trading community, you know where to go to, the description. Why? Because the Discord is there, the Telegram is there, and yeah, that was basically it. So I really hope you guys understood this strategy, man. If you guys have any questions, you know where to go to. Go into the comments, type your comment, and I'll always reply to you. Okay? And yeah, that was basically it, man. That will be basically it. And I really hope you guys understood this video, man. If you guys have any questions, again, ask me in the comment description or ask me in my Discord, and I'll reply to you. But yeah, that was basically it for this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.